Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening and watching. My name is Nefertiti, and you can find my information in the description box below. This is an energy update for the week beginning June 29th, but I'm recording this on June 30th. If you saw my community post, you know that I was still getting a lot of messages from Spirit, so I wanted to allow myself some time to break them down so that I can communicate them to you. So a couple of announcements. I will not be doing any private readings for the month of July. Spirit is really asking me to pull back and do some healing work, some shadow work. So I'm going to do that. That was a challenge for me to accept as a message for myself, but I'm going to do it. Also, I'm going to be putting out more content. That's part of the reason, too, why Spirit is asking me to pull back from personal readings. There's just a lot of information that is being channeled to me, and I am going to share it with you as I'm guided to. So let's get into the channeled messages that I have for this week specifically. The first one that came through was agendas being pushed and awareness being raised. And we can see this in the collective, how everybody has ideas on how we should approach this pandemic situation, how we should approach the economy, and all these different things. It's like that saying, there's too many Indian chiefs and not enough Indians. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. It's just a saying that came to me. But we're starting to see kind of the chaos and how it's going to be so important for us to take responsibility for our own lives. We really can't rely on outside entities, the powers that be. I think, honestly, they're just as frightened as a lot of us are, in the sense that we just don't know what's going to happen. We're all being asked to trust the process, to trust the universe. Another message that I got was the energies coming in now are helping us to break cycles of emotional abuse. So a couple of times during my morning meditation, I was seeing a figure 8 and a pair of scissors cutting right through the middle of that. Some of us have been in really toxic patterns with people. This could be intimate relationships, family members, co-workers, and Spirit is really asking us to examine our beliefs about relationships and our needs, our intimacy needs, our connection needs, and bring balance to that. Because once we do that, then those cycles will break themselves. It's not about forcing other people to act in a certain way. It's not even about you trying to temper your behavior so much in the sense that you're working from the outside in. It's about working from the inside out. We do things based on our belief systems. So examining our beliefs, especially around codependency, if that's an issue for you, people pleasing, and all of the things that we do that create imbalance within our emotional body that we allow to occur in our lives. Another message that I got was collectively, we are learning to navigate conflict. So over millennia, what has been the answer to a lot of conflict? War, power struggles, seeing who has more power, who has more money, who has more esteem, which group is more oppressed, which group has more trauma connected to it. We're really starting to learn that we have to work together. We have to come together. And that requires us learning how to effectively navigate conflict, learning how to have a healthy debate, not an argument. Because that's the whole purpose of contrast, of duality, is to help us to know what it is that we really want. So it's not about doing away with conflict. It's about learning how to navigate it efficiently and effectively, creating those win-win situations, not win-lose, not lose-lose. Another message that I got was about the distorted masculine and the distorted feminine. So in general, the distorted masculine shows up as not honoring your emotional body, suppressing your emotions, not wanting to feel, not wanting to love, not allowing yourself to be loved. And this happens for a variety of reasons. Usually it's connected to childhood trauma, not having good role models when it comes to intimacy and relationships and family connections. But this could cause your emotional body to become imbalanced because you're neglecting this part of yourself. You're not allowing yourself healthy emotional expression, so it can manifest in different strange ways, right? Compulsive behaviors, lethargy, mood swings. So we're really being asked to bring balance into these energies. The distorted feminine is about not trusting your intuition and not standing in your power. As a divine feminine myself, I have been struggling lately with my issues of people pleasing and realizing that it has been it's a conditioned response. It's something that I learned to do. And it's my responsibility to unlearn that and to bring balance into it, especially when it comes to the twin flame connection. When we're talking about balance, I believe that's where a lot of the healing comes in, to bring awareness to these areas of our connection that don't honor the other counterpart. Because when we're talking about twin flame union or anything that has to do with spirituality, being of service is the number one priority, but it gets distorted with people pleasing. And we know why that happens, right? A lot of the spiritual ideas, the things that we know to be right and true, have been hijacked by dark entities. So we have to learn to find that balance between being of service and not getting into people pleasing and allowing other people, other situations to deplete our energy, especially as divine feminines and divine masculines too. Again, when you don't honor your emotional body, that creates energy depletion because you're not in control of how you feel. And that all goes back to your thinking. And I understand that this could be a challenging thing for the divine masculine because divine feminines, like I mentioned in another video, we're naturally more connected to our feelings. So even though it's a challenge, it has to be done if you're going to fulfill your purpose in the best way, if you're going to have a balanced, healthy, and harmonious life yourself. Another message that I got was about the twin flame versus the karmic relationship. Now, we know that there's a lot of similarities with these relationships, but there's also some differences. The first one is the telepathy, and that has been increasing. And we always see an increase in psychic abilities during powerful lunation periods, especially eclipses. But telepathic connections between twin flames are being heightened right now. And this is creating a lot of different scenarios for people. For some people, it's very exciting and you're like, yes, this is confirmation. There is somebody for me, specifically for me. For others, this is creating a lot of anxiety and tension because maybe they're in a karmic situation and they know they have to get out of that situation in order to connect with their twin flame. And this is never an easy process. I've been divorced. It's just, even if you want to leave, it's hard. Okay. And I'm just speaking in general terms, just giving you an example. But a karmic situation could be anything, a location, a relationship with a family member, something that you're doing, your relationship with yourself, with the devil meant for harm, God meant for good. So think of the twin flame connection as your spiritual birthright, your gift, because it is you. The karmic situation comes in as the distortion. But remember that God uses everything for our good. So the karmic situations will always provide us with lessons. Twin flame unions also do healing in separation and together. Now, there is a certain amount of healing that needs to occur before union can take place, but the healing journey continues. You also know that you're in a twin flame union when that person just feels like they're a part of you. And this is something that I can't explain in words. It's not infatuation or lust. It's something that goes beyond what I can express in words. You just know that this person is you. Now, how that person behaves and the choices that they make, that's a whole nother story. But you feel that connection to that person. Another thing with the twin flame journey is once that level of healing is achieved, the pain and healing cycles can be seen from higher perspectives. They can be seen as necessary components of your journey. Going through what you went through led you to where you are today. You may not be where you need to be, but thank God you are not where you used to be. All right? Now, karmic relationships, typically there's lots of chaos. And there's chaos in twin flame unions too. But with karmic situations, it's just repeated cycles, the same bullshit over and over again, the same situations, the same arguments. You break up to make up. Again, that could be a part of the twin flame journey too. But I feel like with the twin flame union, you cycle up. Every time there's a separation and a reunion, the separation occurs because there needs to be some healing. And then the union, you come back together and you've gone to another level. With karmic situations, you're just in that same energy. It's just cycling over and over again. And with karmic situations, whether or not you want to admit it, especially when it comes to intimate relationships, you secretly hate that person, right? You want to love that person because it feels like it's the right thing to do. You've been with this person for a long time, or this is a family member. So you feel like this is, I need to rise above these negative emotions I have for that person. But in reality, you hate that person. And usually in a karmic situation, there's lots of manipulation, lots of dishonesty, and again, pain cycles that are not allowing one another to grow. You're just sitting in this lower vibrational energy and not getting the lessons. Let's move on to the astrology. Today, on June 30th, we have Jupiter conjunct Pluto. Now, this transit occurs every 13 years, and this is the second of 3 connections that Jupiter and Pluto will make. This is about ambition, determination, and perhaps some restlessness because we are dealing with retrograde energy. So we're being asked to be adaptable, to adjust to situations. Some astrologers are predicting another financial crisis. This is a wonderful time to focus on what it is that you want to manifest, your goals, your ambitions, getting clarity on these things. For some of us, our life purpose, our soul mission is under a period of review. Some of the shadow aspects of this transit are greed and self-righteousness, so we're definitely going to see a lot of that, especially in politics. Power struggles will also continue. Again, too many Indian chiefs, not enough Indians. This is about us on individual levels, getting back to the basics, learning to manage our resources and our time efficiently and effectively, staying focused on our goals and objectives. On July 1st, Saturn is moving back into Capricorn. So again, bringing the focus back to you. Time management. We all get the same 24 hours in a day. Saturn retrograde in Capricorn is great for utilizing things like habit trackers, step monitors, bullet journals, and all sorts of like organization methods. So I would encourage you to do some research and see what works for you. You guys hear me talk a lot about the block scheduling system. It's just so important to have strategies and structures in place as we move into the later part of this year where we're going to have to adapt and adjust. It's important for us to have those strong foundations. Saturn retrograde speaks to delays, setbacks. We're going to see some social distancing orders make a comeback. with Mercury retrograde and all the other planets moving backwards, we don't have all the information. So we're going to have to backtrack and figure out where we need to make some adjustments, where we need to review some things, where we are missing it. On July 4th, the Capricorn full moon eclipse goes exact at 9:44 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 12:44 a.m. Eastern Time. And the ritual times are listed here. This is going to be a very important time to do lunar ritual work, release work, manifestation work, candle magic, whatever resonates with you. This full moon eclipse is bringing in positive changes and new discoveries over time. Full moons are already emotional and extroverted in nature. So when we're talking about an eclipse, this is times 3. And this eclipse is speaking to adaptability, flexibility, as we continue to see outward conditions change. Focus on what you can control. This is also a very important transit for money and structures. This full moon eclipse is opposing the retrograde Mercury, so awareness of our emotional needs, staleness in relationships, awareness of our communication patterns, awareness of where we are perhaps buying into negative thinking, stinking thinking. It's so important that we stay positive as much as we possibly can, but it's also okay to not be okay sometimes. That's part of the reason why I'm doing this video via voiceover, because I am not 100% right now. This has been a very challenging couple of weeks for me, energetically and emotionally. This full moon is also trine to Uranus. So this is about positive and exciting changes, epiphanies, expect the unexpected. I always see Uranus connecting to the moon in a positive way as us really opening our eyes to the synchronicities. I know personally I've been seeing 1212, 444, 333, 222, and 555 every single day. With this energy of synchronicity, of coincidence, this is confirmation that we are being led, we are being guided. So there's no need to fear. Mercury is making a square to Mars at the time of this full moon eclipse. So this could increase anxiety and communication issues. So be mindful of your energy. Pull back if you need to. Get rest, schedule it in, and practice extreme self-care. But overall, this full moon eclipse is relatively positive, but we're definitely going to see some outward changes. So let's move on to the oracle cards. And I was led to the Angel Answers deck, and compromise showed up. This is a very clear message from Spirit that we will definitely have to make some adjustments moving forward. It's going to be up to us to keep our energy positive and light, and to consistently be clearing our energy. Because as we travel through this Cancer time, it makes us more empathic. So we're definitely picking up on a lot more energy, more so than we would. And in order for us to create happy outcomes in our life, we need to be willing to make adjustments and be willing to cooperate with one another, to be objective about finding solutions and respecting everybody's point of view. The underlying energy, the card underneath the bottom of the deck, let go. This is about surrender, trusting that you're getting all of the guidance and information that you need when you need it, and trust that your world is expanding. So go with the flow and allow yourself to grow, allow yourself to heal. This is also confirmation that the Ascended Masters are here to help you. So whoever you resonate with. When it comes to the twin flame energies, since we've been talking about that, of course, Saint Germain and Lady Portia, but you could also call on any high priest or high priestess deity that resonates with you if you're working on your own individual healing. Let's move on to the angel number 333. Again, ascended masters are available to help you with your life purpose and your light working. I always see 333 as a light worker support number. I've personally been seeing this number since I was about 4 years old. It was my beeper code. If anybody remembers, pagers, and you had a little code, like if you were calling from another number, or if you wanted somebody to call you from a number that they didn't know, you'd put that little code in there. That was my code, and it still is. But this is also about using your talents and abilities to empower yourself and uplift others. Communicating your truths is going to be very important right now. Let's move on to the spirit animal. And the eagle, the mighty eagle, showed up, helping us to see things from a higher perspective, to have courage in the face of challenges and difficulties. The eagle is also about adaptation, learning to adjust. The eagle is also about learning to interpret divine messages. We all have psychic abilities. One of them or two of them are going to be the strongest. And this is how we get most of our messages, most of our guidance. So the eagle speaks to psychic development. The eagle also shows up to let us know that changes are coming. So he's putting us on notice. This is also about pulling back our energies for self-discovery. Remember that the eagles fly close to the sun, and we are going to have to get burned sometimes on our journey to success. So don't be afraid of challenges. Don't be afraid of obstacles. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. The eagle will help you to step out of your comfort zone so that you can move into the life that you're destined to live. Let's move on to the crystals. Amethyst and rose quartz. I've been working with these crystals exclusively for the past week and a half because I've been really focused on inner child healing. A lot of the healing that we have to do is inner child healing. Amethyst and rose quartz together really amplify the energies of self-love, unconditional love for yourself, unconditional love for other people, but also helps you to create healthy boundaries because amethyst is psychic protection. Rose quartz is about integrating your heart space and really connecting to that divine love within you so that you can heal yourself. I believe that we all have the power to heal ourselves, and that includes knowing when to ask for help. To me, that is healing yourself. So use amethyst and rose quartz during meditation. These crystals love water, so you can use these in the bath. You can also use these when you're doing your shadow work. Now, amethyst and rose quartz together do elicit emotional release. Don't deny that. Don't try to stuff it down. If you need to cry, cry. This has been a really watery week for me. I've been doing a lot of crying, a lot of introspection, a lot of meditation. But I know that it's necessary. It's not easy. No, it is not easy. I would much rather be doing something else. But I know as a spiritual teacher, as somebody that's supposed to be in a position of conveying these messages, I have to heal. So thank you so much for listening and watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And as I mentioned earlier, I will be pulling back from personal readings for the month of July so that I can focus on more healing and content creation. So your donations are greatly appreciated, and you can use the PayPal or Venmo links below. Have a wonderful week. I will speak to you again soon. Namaste.